everyone, it's Carolyn and welcome back to Contemporary Mama. I have another Foodie Friday video for you guys today. It's the holiday season. I know everyone is super busy, so I thought it was the perfect time to share some easy sheet pan dinners with you guys. These are awesome to just throw into the oven. Everything cooks at the same temperature for the same time, so it's just super convenient, and also it makes cleanup a breeze because you're only using about one pan to cook. So I have a delicious baked salmon and veggies, as well as this coconut shrimp with pineapple and broccoli that is delicious. I'm going to share both of those recipes with you, and they're going to be linked down in the description box, so I really hope that you enjoy. So to kick things off, I'm going to start with this garlic butter baked salmon and vegetables. Now I'm starting this meal by prepping my vegetables, and I chose to use green beans and asparagus because those are going to cook in the same amount of time as the salmon. So after I get them all washed and rinsed, I'm going to pat them dry and trim the ends. Now, after I have melted 6 tablespoons of butter, I'm just going to go ahead and add in the rest of the ingredients for the butter sauce, and I've listed them all here on the screen. But don't forget, this recipe is also going to be linked down in the description box, so make sure you check that out if you need to. Now here you can see that I've minced up my garlic cloves. I'm going to go ahead and pat that into my salmon fillets before I grab my butter sauce and pour that all over both my salmon and my vegetables. I'm going to grab a few lemon wedges and give that a good squeeze all over the salmon and the vegetables before I finish it off with a generous sprinkle of both salt and pepper. I already have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, so I'm going to pop my sheet pan in, and I actually needed to cook it for a little more than 15 minutes, which is what the recipe recommended. Mine took about 20 minutes, so you just want to make sure that you check it and make sure it's cooked through. You'll know that it's all cooked through when it flakes easily with a fork. This was such an easy and delicious meal. I can't believe it only took 30 minutes start to finish. It's perfect for a busy weeknight or after work. I love the flavor in this, and I can't wait to make it again really soon. Now, this delicious concoction is Thai peanut coconut chicken. Oh my gosh, this was delicious. Now, first I want to talk about the pineapple. So the recipe called for fresh pineapple and pineapple juice, but I opted to use canned pineapple, so I reserved the juice to use in the sauce later on, and I'm using the pineapple in place of fresh pineapple. I used 2 cans, but you definitely could get away with using 1. I had plenty left over. Now, after I've reserved the pineapple juice, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients for the marinade and sauce. So I'm mixing up a big batch, and some of this I'm going to use to marinate the chicken, and the rest of it is going to be reserved separately to use as a sauce. You definitely don't want to use the sauce that you used in the chicken. You want that to be discarded so that you don't get yourself sick. Again, I just want to mention this recipe will be linked down in the description box. Now I'm going to grab about 8 to 10 chicken tenders and get them into a freezer bag to marinate. And although this recipe does require a bit more prep than the previous one, this step can definitely be done in advance, either the night before or the morning before you go to work, and it will make the actual cooking time go a lot faster. So here I'm just adding a couple tablespoons of olive oil, as well as about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of the marinade into the bag, and I'm giving that a really good mix, putting that in the fridge to marinate for at least a couple of hours, and then the rest of the reserved sauce I'm going to refrigerate separately. Now this is where I'm going to mix up the coating for the chicken. Again, this is something that you can totally do in advance to make the actual cooking time later on in the day much faster. So I just grounded up some peanuts and I'm adding the panko breadcrumbs, flour, and shredded coconut. This breading was super flavorful and it made the chicken super crunchy. Now that it's getting close to dinner time, I'm going to go ahead and chop up my broccoli. I love lining my sheet pan with foil. It makes cleanup such a breeze. I'm just going to drizzle my broccoli with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of that marinade. Next, I'm going to add the pineapple to the other side of the baking dish. I'm going to give that a little drizzle of olive oil as well and sprinkle on a touch of brown sugar. Now here you can see I am adding an extra piece of foil in the middle. I'm folding up the sides to create a little pouch, and this is where I'm going to place the chicken. You definitely want to separate it from the pineapple so that the juices don't make it mushy. I find it easiest to bread my chicken in a bowl, so I just dumped in that peanut, flour, breadcrumb mixture, and then I'm just dredging the chicken in it before placing it in its little pouch on the baking tray. If you have any leftovers of that breadcrumb mixture, just sprinkle it on top and it'll give it a nice extra crunch. This is going to bake in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes, and you want to make sure your chicken is 165 degrees. Now, while your chicken is baking in the oven, you can add your reserved marinade, that's the part that did not touch the chicken, into a small saucepan. You're going to want to add in about 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch, whisk that together, and bring this up to a boil. Once it's boiling, you can reduce the heat to a simmer until it's slightly thickened. Once your sauce is nicely thickened, you want to turn off the heat and stir in about 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. This is gonna make it so thick and creamy. You're gonna either drizzle this over the chicken or you can serve it on the side as a dipping sauce. We served this over brown rice, but cauliflower rice would also work perfectly if you're doing low carb. This was such a delicious meal, and because I created the marinade and the breading topping early in the day, it did come together pretty quickly when I was ready to actually put it in the oven. The flavors were incredible, and again, this is going to be a staple in my house. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing these 2 easy sheet pan dinners. If this is something that you enjoy, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment so that I know to make more. I'm going to see you guys on Monday with a brand new video. Thank you again so much for watching.